Good afternoon. My name is Enghebatu Togochog. I represent the Southern Mongolian Human Rights Information Center based in New York. As you all know, Southern Mongolia is always known as Inner Mongolia due to the direct translation of the highly Sino-centric term called Name Mongol. I was born and raised in Southern Mongolia, and my mother tongue is Mongolian. I received my education in Mongolian from elementary school to college, where I majored in Mongolian language and literature, thanks to China's brief relaxation on the control over Mongolian language education during that time. From a linguistic perspective, Mongolian language belongs to the Altaic language family, as Dolkun mentioned earlier. It's very close to, my language is very close to Turkic languages, including Uyghurs and Turkish language, as well as there is some similarity with the Manchu and Tungus language. So Mongolian language has no relationship whatsoever with the Chinese language, which in fact is a member of what is called Sino-Tibetan language family that is completely different from the Altaic language family. Despite these, the Chinese authorities have pushed hard to promote the language assimilation as part of their broader assimilation policies towards Southern Mongolia, starting in the late 1970s, after the large-scale genocide and ethnic cleansing in Southern Mongolia. The Chinese regime somehow felt some satisfaction and confidence with their colonial policies and showed some relaxation on the control over Mongolian language education in the region, at least on the surface. Some Mongolian schools were reopened, and the Mongolian language departments of some colleges were allowed to become a separate department from the Chinese language department. During the earlier time, actually, Mongolian language department was part of, Mongolian language was considered part of the Chinese language. In fact, the Chinese constitution and other related laws and regulations always state to guarantee the minorities' right to use and develop their respective languages. However, the reality is quite different, and it's becoming increasingly troublesome in the recent decades. Some studies conducted by some researchers revealed that for 210,000 Mongolian inhabitants of the regional capital Hohhot, there are only 2 Mongolian elementary schools, and the number of children enrolled are fewer than 3,000, making up only 1% of the total Mongolian population in the city. In the so-called Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region alone, number of enrollees at the Mongolian elementary school dropped from 110,000 in the 1980s to 19,000 in the 2009. This means the Mongolian elementary school enrollment dropped by an alarming rate of 83% in 19 years. The main reasons for this sharp decline of the Mongolian student enrollments are: one, due to the Chinese government policies, including large-scale population transfer, elimination of Mongolian schools at rural level, and merger of Mongolian schools to Chinese schools as part of the ecological migration and quick urbanization programs. Two, it's due to the de facto second-class citizen status of the Mongolians in this colonial state. Although the Mongolian language is stated to be one of the official languages in Southern Mongolia, the Chinese government has made no effort whatsoever to make it reality. Mongolian students who study Mongolian language but are not fluent in Chinese do not have any opportunity for employment and the career opportunity. In some cases, Chinese employees, including some government agencies, clearly stated in their employment requirement that no candidate educated in Mongolian is considered. We have learned some cases in which Mongolian parents of eastern southern Mongolia's Ulanhat municipality published open letters recently on Chinese social media and demonstrated outside the government office to protest the appointment of Chinese principals to only 2 kindergartens in the city that provided instruction in Mongolian language. The administrations of the 2 schools restricted the use of Mongolian language, and at least one of them banned Mongolian teachers from speaking Mongolian in the office. In addition to these restrictions, another tragedy faced by the Southern Mongolians is the computerization of Mongolian written language. The cause of this tragedy is due to the Chinese authorities divide and conquer the modus operandi to intentionally create confusion and division among Mongolian linguists, and eventually made the Mongolian language computerization system a defunct one. The traditional Mongolian written system was adopted from our Uyghur friends, Uyghur brothers and sisters 1,000 years ago, and we still call it Uyghur Mongol. And it's only true vertical alphabetic system script in the world today. But today, the traditional Mongolian written system is one of the very few written systems that are not fully computerized, even though it was given enough slots for its alphabet, thanks to the fairness of the Unicode system. During the Mongolian language Unicode adoption process, Chinese authorities handpicked some of the so-called pro-regime linguists and scholars, or sometimes called experts, to fill up the precious Unicode slots allocated to the Mongolian written language with nonsense, dead, extinct symbols and letters, and made our own live written system a dysfunctional one in any standard computer systems. In this digital era, our written language is not searchable in any major search engines such as Google and Yahoo. Our written language cannot go through any mailing systems such as Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, so on. We are unable to use any text editor to write Mongolian directly. Microsoft Office and any other major editors are not available to Mongolian written system. No social media tools, including the Chinese ones, WeChat, are not available for Mongolian language due to this dysfunctional Unicode system. Mongolian children and youth are effectively barred from learning their languages, learning their native language and communicating with their peers using their own mother tongue. Due to the key principles of the Unicode, that is stability, there's no way for us to fix this dysfunctional Mongolian Unicode system. In this sense, this Chinese government's so-called project for computerization of Mongolian language in Unicode is another round of genocide, linguistic genocide specifically directed to wipe out the entire Mongolian language system. Thank you.